Good morning, and welcome to our daily video log, Happy Tales 2.
The misadventures of 5 dogs and 2 humans traveling from Mobile, Alabama to Star Valley, Wyoming.
You know, looking around, I think the word for today is snow.
There's no more snow. I know the locals are a bit upset about the weather, but of course we love it.
It's fantastic.
We woke this morning to about 10 inches of new snow blanketing the ground, not only covering our footprints from the day before, but also making it a bit of a challenge for Silver Bridge's view out of the driveway. Completely unfazed by our lack of transportation, we decided to take a rather challenging hike through the Bureau of Land Management property behind the house. While we waited on somebody to compile the driveway.
Exactly.
Fine with us.
Now, Stephanie and the kids had ventured this way a bit the day before, but this was my first foray into the incredibly deep snow, but beautiful surroundings. Stephanie and I, 2 years ago, purchased our own snowshoes. You know, we're the only people on our street that own snowshoes.
Probably so.
It felt like we were more than suited to make this trek, but the snow was so incredibly deep that I was pleased to find our host had a pair of the primitive ones that look like basket weaving, what have you, and they're actually much wider. And since snowshoes come in different sizes, I was glad to have this wider set, so I was able to plot ahead of Stephanie and the girls to kind of beat a little bit of the path as we went through the rather powdery snow.
We were post-holing unless we walked behind Garrett.
Exactly, but it ended up working out okay. It was difficult for them to navigate, but I have to say, I really don't think our crew was phased in a bit. That's for sure.
Very true to form. The dogs crisscrossed our path on a regular basis and did not mind the extra effort since there was so much to investigate. We always have delusions of grandeur when we start these hikes that we're going to go for miles and miles. No, we don't. At the end, we look at our Garmin to discover we haven't traveled very far, but yet we feel like we've done at least a 5K.
Definitely.
The difficult powder forces us to stop on a regular basis, to stop and simply enjoy the surroundings.
And it's not too much of a challenge for us.
It's beautiful. Everywhere you look, it's gorgeous.
We're thankful that later that morning, John, a retired sheriff from Lake Tahoe, who lives nearby, came and cleared the driveway with his Bobcat. Now, this allowed me to finally get to peak fitness and get a workout in, and for Stephanie and I to take in an afternoon hike at Strawberry Creek. Now, it was already 5 p.m., and it seems like we weren't the only ones that were a little deterred by the snowfall, since the blanket of snow on the trail was completely untouched. Now, in all the years we've gone skiing, I don't think we've ever made first tracks at 5 p.m.
Not at 5 p.m.
But and you pointed out something. You pointed out something on this trip about seeing this venture through a new one's eyes. You know.
Yes, little Remy. So I was thinking about Mardi Gras and how you grew up with Mardi Gras all your life. I've been in it now for like 30 years, but we still like it. But it is even so much more fun when we share the experience with someone who has never seen it before. This is the same feeling we have when we bring a foster dog along with us. We love seeing our crew enjoy the snow and all the sights, but we enjoy it even more with a foster dog experiencing it for the first time, especially little Remy. We just loved it. So we found ourselves just watching him investigate and exploring with all this wet stuff. He's been a lot of fun.
And he thoroughly enjoys himself. He quite often stopping in order to bury his nose in the snow, either eating it or picking up on scents of God knows what. So, as I mentioned earlier, since it's a bit challenging to traverse deep snow, our walks are not as long, and as we planned for them today. And but they sufficiently wore out our crew, and they don't mind taking the long naps in the truck after that, while Stephanie and I grab something to eat. For this supper tonight, we were headed to one of our old haunts, but we kind of ran into a bit of a new experience.
So some fans of the 5 Dogs and 2 Humans experience will recognize Colter's Lodge in Afton. This is a hotel restaurant bar which was originally built in the 1800s. That happened to be very well known in West Wyoming gathering spot that hosted many big bands and well-attended dances. We usually eat in the bar, which parts of it looks like it's been untouched since the 1900s.
Yeah.
And Garrett, of course, loves an old-fashioned, and when you walk into this place, you can't help but think of old-fashioned and big red meat.
Yeah, red meat and whiskey, definitely so. But tonight was was a little bit different and did remind us about how close knit this community is. Now they were serving in the bar, but the restaurant was closed due to a fundraiser that was taking place for an 11-year-old girl suffering from paralysis brought on by an autoimmune condition. The community had pulled together to host a fundraiser in her honor to help with her medical bills. The fare for the evening was $10 for all you can eat, hamburgers and hot dogs, along with side dishes of, baked beans, macaroni salad, had some chips and stuff there.
It was good, but don't forget the desserts. They were all fantastic.
God, it was fantastic.
Homemade
Incredible.
chocolate cake, homemade cherry cobbler. Obviously, with the food, we were not disappointed. They even had a raffle going on, which, of course, we bought raffle tickets. And later on that night, we got the call that we won something. Most importantly, it looked like it was a very successful fundraiser for Young Faith.
And I have to ask, for all of you that are so inclined, her name is Faith, and I hope you will join us in keeping her in your prayers. Now, I have to say this may remind you some of the challenges that we had through Pinesdale. It's kind of interesting. We've had some little challenges as far as finding something to eat. But I speak for both of us when I say that this, like the others, was a very, very happy accident. So, and we will be going back to Colter's.
We will, but not much else to tell because we were rather worn out by the end of the day. But no matter, we have a packed day today, so it was a good thing we got some rest.
A great day, snowy day for all of us, and we're still having a great time.
Thoroughly enjoying our trip.